I just want to point out that this book on reindeer husbandry exists, and it is probably a lot more relevant to you than you would think. I am no expert at all on reindeer or reindeer husbandry or the Arctic, but a lot of the issues that they deal with and they talk about in this book are relevant broadly to agriculture everywhere. The economy, the geopolitics, the constant infighting and confrontations between bureaucrats and people who are involved directly with nature and directly with agriculture. It sounds so much like the arguments that you hear connected to cattle or horses or sheep pasturing or any number of other types of agriculture. The problems that they are facing here, it's sort of a microcosm of what it's going to look like later when climate change moves further on this planet. They talk a lot about predation of the reindeer herds. Here's a video that was recently caught of a polar bear eating a reindeer. They also talk about lynxes and canines and other things that will actually prey on these reindeer herds. We normally think of agriculture as in fences, but these reindeer are semi-wild animals. They're allowed to roam freely across their grazing grounds. The way the food is prepared and the culture and the history here, it's incredibly interesting. Anybody who's interested in anthropology should absolutely check this book out, just for the culinary insights. The problems that are articulated here should be a huge red flag to anybody reading about this. Currently, on the rest of the planet, there is not a whole lot of space and resources left. For animal husbandry, we cannot do things the same way we did them 100 years ago or 50 years ago. 34% of all the mammalian biomass on our planet is human biomass. The vast majority of mammalian biomass is either humans or animals that are domesticated by humans. Only 4% of the total mammal biomass on this planet is still wild. That should be a big red flag to all of us, and it should be telling all of us that we have to think about agriculture very differently than we have in the past. So it doesn't really matter if you are a person who thinks about bighorn sheep in the Southwest, or mule deer herds, or cattle herds, or how to farm large carnivorous reptiles on the Mekong Delta. These issues of having to change and work with governments and adapting to things that are very, very different than they were just a few years ago, this should be real to everyone, not just the people living in the Arctic. The planet is changing very, very quickly. And if you want an insight into how humans are going to adapt to that, this is a fantastic book to check out.